Alrighty, next game up here is the Colts and the Dolphins. And once again, the Dolphins just don't have a quarterback. Jacoby Brissett is not the answer. I would go with Sinnett next week, honestly. They just cannot move the ball early, often, at all, convincingly, competitively. They just have no quarterback out here, and the play calling is not great either. So Dolphins, they hang around because they're good defense. I mean, it was 7-3 going into halftime. Once again, why this Dolphins defense is very, very good. They keep the games competitive in the first half, but once the offense can't move the ball, the defense just kind of looks and is like, well, what are we doing out here? We're giving it our best, but we can't move the ball offensively, so it goes for nothing. And then they just kind of, give up and not truly give up in the second half, and that's exactly what happened here with the Dolphins. It happened with the Texans. You can't just single-handedly have a great defense with no offense. It does not work. So let's start here with the Miami Dolphins and how bad Jacoby Brissett is looking. So he goes 20 of 30 out here, folks. 20 of 30. What do we got? 66% completion percentage for 199 yards, basically on the borderline of dink and dunk. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but he did fumble the ball. Fumbled the ball once and lost it. Fumbled the ball twice and lost one. The fumble came in the third quarter when it was 17-3, and then the Colts go down and score a field goal, making it 20-3. But he scores 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, making it look competitive, but it really wasn't. And, that's exactly what this Dolphins offense is, always getting it done a little bit too little too late. We just saw it against the Raiders last week. This Dolphins offense is nothing. That's why when we were kind of predicting, reacting to the Week 4 lines last Thursday, we called this one Colts like -2.5, -3. But then it was Dolphins -2. We just don't understand. This was a bad line here by Vegas. This Dolphins team has no offense. We don't have any offensive coordinators that can call accurate, good plays. We don't have Jacoby. Don't have a quarterback that can accurately deliver the ball or be just good. And then we don't have the wide receivers to kind of elevate a poor overall offense. These are not A1, Tier 1 wide receivers on this Dolphins team. Tier 2 pieces all around. Tier 2 piece. We don't have an A1 Tier 1 piece here. Jalen Waddle potentially, but he's not showing anything great here, and that's kind of the scheming and the quarterback play. Not 100% on Jalen Waddle. And then Devontae Parker, he's real 50-50 on his catches. He has the potential to be A1 Tier 1, but he's never taking it. So Jacoby Brissett can't move the ball. Malcolm Brown, our rushing attack, we barely ran the ball. We had 8 carries by Malcolm Brown, 8 carries for 23 yards. Jacoby Brissett ran the ball 3 times for 8 yards. Myles Gaskin, our other running back, 2 carries, 3 yards. Salvin Ahmed, our other running back, 3 carries, 1 yard. So we're not even running the ball. Why are we so set on passing the ball over and over and over again, passing the ball 30 times? What are we doing out here? We know we can't move the ball passing. This Dolphins offense is trash, folks. Maybe the worst offense in the league. I mean, it's up there. Not as bad as the Texans, because I still take Jacoby Brissett over Davis Mills, but it's not that tough of a decision, or it's not that easy of a decision to make. So, Dolphins offense is trash. Let's see who Jacoby Brissett was passing to. I truly bench this man heading into next week. Hopefully, Tua's ready to rock. When is it? Not next week, but next week. That's 4 weeks on the IR. So, hopefully, he can kind of come back quickly and try to, turn this team around. But, Jacoby Brissett's not the answer. He's had multiple opportunities to prove himself. He's got ample chances as the backup quarterback to kind of take over and get it done, and he's never gotten it done ever in his career. So he's 100% not getting it done, and he's just not it. He's not a starter. He's a backup, and we know backup quarterbacks usually don't give you like a 50-50 chance to win a game, and that's what Jacoby Brissett is. All right, he was throwing to Devontae Parker, leading receiver here for the Dolphins, 4 receptions for 77 yards and a touchdown. Mike Gesicki, the tight end, 5 receptions for 57 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 3 receptions and 33 yards, and then it just drops down from there. So nothing great there by the Dolphins offense. Defense tries to keep them in the game. The special teams, they force a muff punt on the first punt of the game, and we go down and take advantage of 3 points, and that's all they did in the first half. Once again, the defense helping them out. All right, now let's talk about this Colts team. Once again, not 100% buying in this Colts team either. We don't like Carson Wentz, and this performance doesn't make us buy into Carson Wentz any. He kind of struggled as well, not getting it done, leaving the door open. If Tua was out here, I kind of guarantee a win here for the Dolphins. Only 7 points in the first half. They score a touchdown after halftime, which is great, but then a field goal and then another field goal off of a turnover, potentially leaving the door open. They did absolutely shut the door when the Dolphins made it 20-10. The Colts go down to make it 27-10. So that's truly shutting out the game in the fourth quarter. So I will give Carson Wentz a little credit for that, but not enough to really buy him. We are still 100% off this Colts team. So Carson Wentz goes 24 of 32. Sounds pretty good. Let's get the official number. We got 75% completion percentage for 228 yards, a little bit of dink and dunk on 24 completions, 2 touchdowns, didn't throw an interception, and I believe Nyheim Hines fumbled the punt, and that's what it was. And let's talk about that. So Carson Wentz, an okay game overall, not doing anything that needs to be done, not as kind of being an A1 tier 1 quarterback, not as single-handedly going out and winning these teams a game, kind of playing game manager quarterback, and that's not what we need out of Carson Wentz. We just saw Phillip Rivers play game manager quarterback last year for the Colts, and it resulted into a first-round playoff exit. That's not what we want to see this Colts team do. So let's talk about this running game, because this is interesting now. Now we're starting to get something interesting. Jonathan Taylor obviously is the number 1 running back here. 16 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown. But what's interesting is that they used Marlon Mack. They weren't going to use him because they wanted to trade him. But now they're utilizing him, and you're not going to use a piece if you're going to trade him because there's potential injury, and then you get nothing out of the trade. You can't trade him. So the fact that they're now using Marlon Mack, are they just going to keep him? I wish they would. I don't want to see him leave this Colts team. The running attack is the best thing about this Colts team. So I would like to have them have and keep all 3 of these running backs. So maybe they changed their mind, which is great. I mean, if they lose Marlon Mack, now Carson Wentz has to be even better, and we don't see that happening. So I would really strongly encourage Frank Reich to keep Marlon Mack. He had 10 carries for 22 yards. He got more carries than Nyheim Hines, which once again is interesting. If you're thinking about trading Marlon Mack, you're not going to, run him more times than your other backs that you're going to keep. That makes no sense. But Nyheim Hines fumbled, and then he barely got any carries. He had 2 carries for 6 yards the entire game. So he fumbled. They don't utilize him. They play Marlon Mack a lot. Maybe they don't trade him, and I hope they don't. But interesting there, and we'll keep an eye on Marlon Mack as the season progresses. All right, let's see who Carson Wentz was throwing the ball to. Michael Pittman Jr., 6 receptions for 59 yards. He was the leading receiver, just not going above and beyond. We need something a little bit more here by this Colts team. Zach Poshko, 4 receptions, 44 yards. Mo Alley-Cox, 3 receptions, 42 yards. He had 2 touchdowns as well. Is Mo Alley-Cox a tight end, or is he a receiver? What do they got him? He is a tight end. So, once again, Carson Wentz going to the tight ends in the red zone, which I've got no problem with, but we want to see you utilize your receivers, and y'all always take this out of context all the time. It's like, when we're just talking about these players, and yeah, I don't like to see dink and dunk all the time, but there is certain circumstances for dink and dunk. That goes without saying. But for the most part, throughout the entire game, the bulk of your throws shouldn't be dink and dunk. So, that's what we're talking about when we talk about dink and dunk, folks. Of course, you're going to be dinking and dunking throughout the game. You have to. You take what the defense gives you. But if you're just taking the dink and dunk every single time, and you're just ignoring everything else and ignoring taking the shots and extending the field vertically, that's when we have a little cause for concern. And that's what we're having here with Carson Wentz in this team. I'm just not buying it, folks. So, Mo Alley-Cox, 3 receptions, 42 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jack Doyle, another tight end, 1 reception, 24 yards. So, Michael Pittman Jr. isn't, being as great as T.Y. Hilton is, which is letting us down. And overall, Carson Wentz is being game manager, which is not what we wanted here from Carson Wentz in this Colts team. But they get the 27-17 win. They beat the Dolphins for their first win of the season, and the Colts advance to 1-3.